Hi, people of the Philippines and people of the world. Hit the button below. And you will be subscribing to the Boy Abunda Talk channel on YouTube. Let's keep talking.
It will happen. It is possible. Everything passes.
If you can do it because you have so much love for yourself, do it.
Hi, I'm Boy Abunda. I'd like to speak with you with words spoken mula sa puso. When you're counted out, count yourself in. Pag tinawaran ang kakayanan mo, huwag kang tumawad. Huwag mo ibaba ang iyong presyo. Stick to your price. Stick to your worth. Here's my story. I was a talent manager, still am. I still manage talents. And prior to managing talents, I was a publicist. I represented the likes of Kuli Desma, Apo Hiking Society, Jaja Padilla, Martin Rivera, Regine Velasquez, and many others. Beautiful times. And then I managed Ariel Rivera. The opportunity to host a television show came shortly after. And I was doing well in my job, in my business as an artist manager. I made a lot of friends and I was happy. The great Bobby Barrero, Wilma Galvante, and everybody in Channel 7. I was going to do a show on television with Ms. Gretchen Barreto. Let me just tell you that one of my friends, one of my closest friends actually, still in the business, sat me down because he was very concerned. Magandang kanyang intensyon and his intent was pure. He was worried because he knew me, and if I were to ask him about my career pathing, he didn't see me in front of the camera. So we sat down and we did a conversation, and he said, "Let me tell you this, and I want to be very honest. I know you want to do television. There's a certain magic about being in front of the camera. Tatanggapin ko po yun. It was a different kind of thrill. It was exciting. I mean, can you imagine me in front of the camera? It was just crazy, it was insane, but I wanted to do it. So we started to talk about, working in front of the camera. And he said, "I'm worried about you because it's not going to work. And you've been working so hard all these years. Can't you just wait for your moment to have your own marketing firm, maybe join a huge advertising company? That's where you are best at." I was listening to my friend, and he meant well. And yes, he knew me well. And yes, if I pursued the path, I would have fought for whatever there was for me. I would have worked so hard to achieve what was best for me. I was so driven. I was working so hard. I was focused. But I was wondering where my friend was coming from. Sabi ko, saan bang pinanggagalingan ito? And he was so worried and he wanted to talk to me. So I needed to hear some explanation. And he started to tell me his story. He started to explain his points. One, he said, "Kung magagalit, but I'll tell it straight to your face. Kasi meron naman talaga akong ilusyon. I wanted to be a serious interviewer. I wanted to do interviews. Of course, I loved show business, but I wanted more." Sabi niya, "Number one, you're gay." And of course, I didn't deny that I was gay during that time. I was proudly, still am proudly gay. You're gay. And you're not doing comedy. You're doing talk shows. And you want to do serious talk. And I am worried because gays are not there yet. So I got his point. But I wondered why it was so. Why couldn't a gay man be in front of television? Why can't an out-and-out gay do interviews? What had my gayness, I was trying to figure out in my mind, have anything to do with the prospects of doing a talk show? We debated a bit. And I said, "I think you're discriminating me because my mind has nothing to do with my sexual orientation and gender identity." Of course, I was not talking soji then, but I resented that. I listened because I thought it made a little sense. as opposed to, a marketing career or a career in advertising, which was more lucrative and more promising. I saw his point. Number two, sabi niya, you're waray. You have that accent that's bothersome. It's annoying. Sabi ko talaga. Because when you're waray, when you're Bisaya, you don't know that you're annoying. I mean, I'm actually proud about my accent. I'm actually proud about my being waray. But believe it or not, there was a time in my life, in this public space, that I was so insecure about talking in front of people, much more in front of a camera. Dahil may mga panahon naman talaga na natatapilok ang dila. Yung E nagiging I, ang O nagiging U. Pinagtatawanan ka because that is not the norm. You're supposed to speak like a city boy. You're supposed to speak like, a Manila boy. And here I was, proud of my accent. Sabi ko, hindi ko tatago yan. I will not hide the truth that I am waray, I am Bisaya, matigas ang aking dila. So my friend was saying, you'll have a hard time. Hindi ka tunog Tagalog. Pagtatawanan ka lang, people will ridicule you. People will malign you. He was really discouraging me from taking on that on-cam job. Number three, he said this really as gently as he could. I still can remember his face. You're not beautiful. Hindi ka masyado kagandahan. Of course, it was a euphemism of pangit ka. I knew he meant you're not beautiful enough for television. Of course, I disagreed. I remember telling my friend, if you don't see my beauty in front of the camera, that's your problem. That's not going to be my problem. Siyempre nakipag-away ako, I debated about whose right is it actually to define how I look, my beauty, or the absence of that. And besides, this is not a beauty contest. This is a talk show. And I don't think my producers are expecting me to be a beauty queen. I don't think that's part of the deal. So that was a long conversation. And looking back, I was actually being counted out by a friend who loved and who still loves me to this very day. But I didn't allow him to count me out. I counted myself in. And believe me, I worked so hard because of that conversation. Yes, I am gay. Yes, I am waray. Yes, I am not beauty queen material. But I am worthy to be in front of the cameras for television. I made that resolve. Sabi ko sa sarili ko noon, hindi ako papayag. Failure is not an option. I remember after the first episode of the show I did with Gretchen, sabi ko sa audience, ladies and gentlemen, bigyan niyo po ako ng 4 na shows. Malalaman ko po ang aking ginagawa. I remember that. I said it facetiously, but I meant it from the bottom of my heart. Moral of the story is that when someone, even with the best of intents, tries to diminish your value, tries to devaluate you, huwag kang pumayag. Shut off. Shut them off and say, no. This is my space, and I'm going to do it. Because I remember feeling it in my gut that it was something I wanted to do. Feeling it in my soul that it was something I was passionate about. Everybody has an opinion about us. The world is noisy out there. And you are pushed to a point that you have to doubt yourself. Totoo yun. No matter how strong you are, no matter how educated you are, with the noise and all the opinions around you, you will be forced to doubt your capabilities, to doubt yourself. And when that happens, you tap into that core again. You tap into that inner voice. You tap into that spirit and listen. You tap into that instinct. Sabi nga ni Steve Jobs, di ba? Listen to your heart and instinct. They somehow already know what you want. Of course, during that time, hindi ko alam kung anong ibig sabihin nun. Wala pa si Steve Jobs. But he's right. If I were to connect the dots, yes. When you are challenged, when your persona, your humanity, your dreams are challenged, you go to that instinct, you go to that heart. If you feel you love what it is that is offered to you, go for it. Because your instinct and your heart somehow already know what you want. What others think about you is none of your business. Somebody said this. Your business is what you think about yourself. So be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Isang kwento lang. I read this in a book some years ago. Story of 3 men who fell into a sinkhole. Rough times. Bad times. So, 3 men struggling for their life to get out of the sinkhole. And then people started to gather around the place. And people were shouting. In the beginning it was, Laban, do everything you can. They were throwing things that the 3 men could hold on to, but nothing worked. After a long period of time, some people started to shout and they started to say, let go. God will take care of you. Awang-awa na talaga sila. It was out of pity because they saw the pain. They saw the struggle. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. The sand is just so strong. Go. We'll be praying for you. We will take care of your family. Just go. The 2 men listened. And to them, those voices made sense. So they let go. Fell into the sinkhole and died. The last man continued to fight his way out of the sinkhole. Nakakaawa na po niya, but he was there. He was just fighting with all his might, with all his courage. He was fighting to get out of the sinkhole because he wanted to survive. He wanted to live for whatever reason it was. He was just climbing out of the sinkhole. And guess what? He made it. Only for people to know, to realize that the 3rd man was deaf. Moral of the story, opinions, the noise, what people think about you, do not define who you are. Listen to your heart. Listen to your spirit, because that's what matters the most. Just like the 3rd man. Again, when you're counted out, count yourself in. Lastly, listen to your heart. Listen to your instinct. Listen to your spirit. Listen to that whisper within. Listen to that voice within that will never lie. And believe. Believe, and the desires of your heart will happen. Have a great life. Thank you, and I'm happy to be with you right now. And I'm hoping to see you again and to speak with you with words spoken mula sa puso. Be kind, be blessed. Make your nanay proud. Goodbye for now. Hi, people of the Philippines and people of the world. Hit the button below and you will be subscribing to the Boy Abunda Talk channel on YouTube. Let's keep talking.